It grinds my gears.
Babies.
Yeah, basic control sequence. So being that we chose enhanced suction, it doesn't really dive into any kind of PID tuning or anything like that.
Is the old suction group still in this thing?
Yes, it is.
Why? What is the reason for that?
My experience with it, if you have suction, if you have an application where you have sudden drastic load changes that's not repetitive, doesn't have at the same time every day. So let's say food processing plant.
Yeah.
And let's say the wash crew doesn't wash, they don't do clean or wash of the various areas at the same time every day. The standard suction, in my experience, has had a better control of it because it's not worrying about observing and learning. It just PID, boom, let it rip. So if you don't have consistent load changes, you may be in a situation where standard suction could be a better fit.
Yeah, I've seen that like 50-50 on like Cascade racks on the medium temp. It's 50-50 because it's not always a constant load, and they struggle on the Cascade side trying to keep up with the enhanced suction. It doesn't do well with like a couple compressors staging on the CO2 side. It struggles to maintain the chillers at a set good superheat.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's being start up an enhanced suction group for the first time. Whenever you, let's say, turn everything on, you got your oil and everything, go turn on the switch and all that stuff, and nothing's turning on. Take a look at your enhanced suction, and you might see learning, observing. So at least you have an input where you can override that for a certain time period. But yeah, if anybody comes across a scenario where enhanced suction, why aren't the compressors turning on? Take a look at the suction group. It just might be quickly learning, observing, which is usually like the first 24 hours or something like that, until it kind of finds its spot. Yeah, other stuff in this tab, I don't know, we don't have to really dive into too much there. Power, yeah.
Can you go back one tab?
Yep.
What is weight comp unit, weight unloader, like I have trouble seeing. Like, does it say weight or
qualified compressor whose unloaded addition when equal to the desired rate? Yeah, capacity. It's it's a value I haven't really played with myself. So let's say
here I'm talking. The thing's on mute. Probably more of the weight that if it's gonna, are you gonna cycle more on loader, or are you gonna cycle more compressor off and on? Right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's nice. That's a nice addition.
Yeah, he's put desired waiting application qualify unload. Yeah, so it's allows a little more tweaking of unloaders versus state like full compressor stages.
Oh, just send it with those.
That's it. Yeah, in this case, I just hit the question mark at the top and I just copy pasted it, and you can
see. That's nice that it highlights it too.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just quickly throws it out at you, right? It's the help guides. It comes in handy. It's you can kind of get lost in it pretty quick, and same choose your category. It's This, if you're ever bored and you want a good read on a Friday night, have at her.
Wait, good. I just have to plug in an E3 on my wall and just go through that and just read it while I'm in the bathroom.
You got it. Or if you can hook it up to an IP address and connect to it on your phone.
If we can figure out a way to play my Super NES games on here, I'd be straight.
Ooh.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I'm gonna get a phone call. I'm gonna get a phone call next week. Guess what I figured out to do?
Yeah, no doubt. If I had a bunch of E3s, I would try it. But the weight on them takes a little bit. Interesting. I'm gonna look into that though. But yeah, good on this tab. Do you have anything else on here?
No, that looks good. That I just wanted to see that that weight, what that was.
And also, I think if we do, yeah. So I had this advanced. So at the top right, we have an advanced and a basic tab. So by default, the basic is what's displayed. If you want to have a little more kind of settings available to you, hit the advanced button.
So it's almost like the full option.
Nailed it. Exactly.
Okay.
Power, kilowatts, all that stuff. Nothing crazy there. I think we can kind of skip this.
Well,
Association.
So I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. So before you had a tab where you actually plumb in the circuits that are associated with the suction group, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we'll get to that. Like in this case, it would be here, and I don't have any circuits yet.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, one thing, the check-it alarm. Nobody's been able to ever explain to me what this tab is and what it's for.
Never used it, to be honest.
Get off your ass and check the case or check the rack, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. If you want a notice, it's just it puts it to the alarm log, but doesn't create a notice or an alarm. We'll test it out after. Input output status gives you a summary. In this case, my rack is having a bad day. It's in fail. Just going to quickly see if my pressure sensors work. Suction pressure went up.
I would much rather see a screen like that than like a graphy, like fancy, like compressors running. Like to me, like that, like from a technician standpoint, looking at like data on a screen, like that's a lot cleaner and easier to look at and just point out, okay, that's wrong. This is wrong.
Exactly. You get a quick at a glance, right?
The subcooler's attached to it too?
It's always
yeah.
Jesus.
It was attached to it in the E2 too.
Yeah. I don't remember what version it has, but yeah, if you have it's convenient if you have let's say especially economized compressors, just throw it right in there and makes it easy. Typically have like a mechanical EPR.
It won't control it from the suction group though, right? It'll just shut it down if there's a failure.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly. If there's a rack failure, it'll de-energize that circuit. Which I think it's like seen various racks in my years of the solenoid for the subcooler will be configured as a circuit, and that solenoid's maintaining the liquid out temperature of the subcooler, and it's just click, 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 click all day, which I don't understand. Why don't you just have it so the subcooler solenoid is on if the suction group is not failed, and set the mechanical EPR to your proper temp? It's much simpler, but whatever is what it is. So that's enhanced suction at a glance. So we just threw in 3 compressors. I'll just quickly do a circuit looking at my actual E3. I have 3 compressors are on, and the variable speed compressor is at full speed. Gonna go back home. We'll drop down and give you a quick at a glance. So on this, being in the enhanced suction tile, I have my shortcut values that I left kind of as default, but you can kind of trim it to be whatever you want. I'm just going to turn my potentiometer a bit here. Get something realistic. Let's quickly do a condenser. Refrigeration.
Right. Quick question: what's the graphing capabilities on this thing and the logging? Like, how much data can this thing hold for like a log point?
A lot more than an E2, that's for sure. I'm trying to bog mine down. So before I kind of wiped it out to for this sake, I created a whole bunch of trends, and I'm polling very often, and I'm just trying to see what I can get away with doing. So I will get back to you on that question because I'm trying to see what it can do as well. Because like, the E2 out of the box for just a couple days, and let's say if you set up logging for 2 years on an E2, it's like, well, not so much. Other thing that I'm testing on my E3 in the very near future is pushing out data with MQTT. So depending on whatever kind of server you have or third-party software or analytic dashboard, you can push data out to it, which comes in handy. Condenser application, I don't know, I'll just call it something. We don't have any drives to associate with.